Hello, my friends, and welcome to yet another episode of Mystic Messages. And this one, we are going to focus on the upcoming solar eclipse because the information and the potency of what is coming in is so incredible. And we cannot wait. All of us, like they're all here, all of us cannot wait to share this with you. Mystic Messages is a place for people to gather, raise consciousness, normalize spirituality, and change the world. And indeed, that is the mission. We are here to change the world. And it is so exciting. So thank you for being on this journey with us. And as you all know, we could not do this without our moderator, Heidi. Heidi, welcome.
Thank you, Teresa. Welcome, everyone. As Teresa was saying, gosh, this is such an exciting time with the eclipse coming, and I am very anxious to hear what the guides have to share with us today.
Me too. Just in the little previews that we've had in some of the channelings that have come through this morning when we met with our alchemy crew, giddy up. We're ready.
Agreed.
So as always, this is for entertainment purposes. Any actions or decisions you make are entirely your own. Always go within. Always trust yourself. Your intuition will never lead you astray. So let me take a moment. We'll pause and I'll get into channel. Welcome back. We have all of Teresa's guides here. We have the goddess, and we have Eli, who represents the star seeds. We will start with us, the 99, the council of wisdom keepers, wisdom sharers, and lovers of human evolution. Heidi, do you have a question you wish to ask, or shall we just begin with what we want to share?
Thank you. And we're so excited to have the three groups with us today. I think let's start with the message that they want to bring forward, and then we'll get into some of the questions.
Delightful. We are ready. So if you recall and you go back to earlier episodes of Mystic Messages, you all have been preparing for this eclipse season since October, November. If you recall, we talked about how the energies of 2024 were unleashed early in October, November, so that you begin to incubate and feel into the energies that are propelling humanity forward. You see, it is time for deeper, more radical evolution, both at the individual level and at the societal level, at the community level, with all of the people across the planet. And when you have this disruption, you feel the more challenging energies erupt and they become destabilized and reactive. And that is what you are seeing in some of the areas across your planet. For those who are invested in the evolution of the planet, for those who are walking their spiritual path, they are aligned and they are feeling the waves of change as they come into their field. Now, your response to these waves of change vary. As a human, you cannot stand You will be affected. You cannot be completely neutral. You may feel tired. You may get headaches. You may be over energized. You may sleep a lot. You may have trouble sleeping. You may have congestion in the head. You could have upset stomach. Your joints could ache. All of these symptoms are what you have called ascension symptoms. And simply put, they are the ascension of the individual as it relates to the ascension of the whole. This is how you know that things are shifting and moving within you. Your physical being is responding with what it needs most in that moment. Look back at the last 4 weeks. What does your body need? And what does your soul want to feed yourself? Trust your intuition. Your intuition will guide you to the thing that most supports you. It could be nature. It could be the ocean. It could be the mountain. It could be the trees. It could be electrolytes. That is something that Teresa speaks of often. Electrolytes help soothe the physical being as we have these disruptions. So we move into a prescription of deep self-care driven by the intuition. Deep self-care as driven by the intuition. Is that a good place to start?
It definitely is. And I think, we've all felt this energy coming in, as you stated, that started late last fall, and it seems to be accelerating. And with that, I know some of us have been feeling, and for myself, it's that a little bit of trepidation and fear, even though I want to stand in full trust. Can the guides give us some background and some direction on addressing that fear versus trust and how we
Mm,
can better stand in trust going forward, especially embracing this new energy coming in?
that is a brilliant place to go because it is the fear that empowers the trust. The fear is coming up because it is ready to transmute and to be moved through so you can come into trust on the other side. You know, each of you who have listened to Teresa talk or listened to our messages, life does not happen to you, it happens for you. If something is coming up, it is because it is hitting its maturity place, its transition place, and is ready to be transmuted to the next plane. You will never ever erase fear. You simply develop the tools to navigate fear in a way that doesn't feed it, that doesn't grow it. Stop, get quiet, be patient with yourself, get curious about the message the fear is bringing to you, and stay neutral as you analyze that information. When you address your fear in this way from an objectivity place, it allows you to choose how to respond. So, if you are not being run down by a tiger or a bear, then your fear is within. And anything that resides within is for your evolution. It is for you to look at. Now, if you are feeling as if you're being chased by a tiger or a bear, then wait to analyze the fear until you're in a place where you can be calm and neutral. Going into the analysis of the fear when you're in the fear does not serve you well. It simply perpetuates the fear. And then you begin the fear, emotion, mental wheel. And it churns and churns and churns. And then you construct evidence to support the fear. So there are several tools that have been mentioned that can help you navigate when you are in fear to move you out of fear. One, as you know, as we have shared before, as Teresa shares, stop and ask what your next thought is. This disconnects and unplugs you from the emotions of the fear. This allows you to move into a place of neutrality and choose self-care. This is not the time for analysis and learning and growing. This is a time for neutrality, peace, and self-care. So step into self-care. I choose peace. I choose calm. I choose a walk in the woods. I choose a swim. I choose something that diffuses the fear. If the fear is not completely overwhelming, you can choose to allow the fear 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes to exist, and then we stop. Then we are done, and we are moving on to this thing. And you are very clear on what you're moving on to. You see, any time that we disregard or try to shove down those emotions, they gain a stronger foothold. They go deeper. They go deeper into the human existence and they anchor in. So don't disregard them, acknowledge them. They're there for you. They're not pleasant, but they're not unpleasant. Allow yourself to move through. And at the end of 15 minutes, move on to your next thing. Say, yes, we are done. Thank you very much. And now we move on to this thing. We are going for a bike ride. We are going to play with our child. We are going to play with our pet. We are going to do something that is not fear. And when you are in a place where you can meditate, go within, be centered and grounded and kind to yourself, then you say, that fear that came up, I sure would like to know why you dropped in on me, and have a conversation and understand with curiosity, patience, and neutrality what it was showing you. This is evolution, because in that challenge came an opportunity to grow compassion, love, self-confidence, kindness, an expanded vision of what is possible for yourself. For if you are not this, and if the fear dissolves, then you can be this. And that is far greater and elevates you above where the fear was holding you. Does this support a complete answer?
Yes, and I loved the comments about self-care and providing the self-care to ourselves, making ourselves a priority, especially when we are addressing the fear. It's so easy to go into hibernation and not allow the fear to be processed and addressed so that you can move to that next level. And I think that tying in with all these new energies coming in, many of us are seeing and sensing some of these fears bubbling to the surface so that we can process them kind of once and for all. And so on that topic, Teresa, with the guides is, we're creating this space because we're handling and addressing some of our fears. With this new energy now and this new cleared space that we've opened up, how do we best integrate these energies And in the past, the guides have given us another tool, the dial. So I thought it would be good to come back and talk about the dial, and then give us some pointers and tips on integrating the energies, as well as we move forward, how do we continue with the integration? Because as we all know, it's not a one and done.
Indeed, nothing in this life, or very few things, are one and done. So, first and foremost, thank you for the reminder for using the dial to manage your energies. Each and every one of you are autonomous, sovereign. You have authority over your experience at all times, all times. And you have a dial, an internal dial that you can turn up when you need more energy. You can turn down when you need less energy, less intensity. And indeed, that is an excellent way to navigate the energies that are bombarding the earth at the moment. And they are considerable. We acknowledge that. And each of you signed up to be here during this time, knowing that this is a time of great change. You are prepared. You have all the tools. You have all the support, especially in the ethers, especially with your guides and your soul. So call them. Ask them, please help me navigate this time, alleviate the stress and tension, allow us to move into a more calm state, a more peaceful state, and then give yourself the environment that supports calm and peace. Now, the solar eclipse is specifically designed, hold tight, we're changing channels. Thank you for giving us the floor. This is Eli. I speak on behalf of the starseeds. This solar eclipse, in fact, the lunar eclipse and the eclipses coming in the fall, are specifically designed to further the evolution of the planet. And one cannot evolve the planet without evolving the humans and all of the species and beings on the planet. That, my dear friends, includes you. So, this is a time to anchor in so much intention and power. What does your heart call you to? What do you want to manifest? For though the solar eclipse occurs on the 8th, it will reverberate over the next 6 months. This is a specific portal to allow you, each and every one of you, to declare first, what is your individual intention? Who are you? And what do you want to manifest in your life? Second, how do you wish to contribute to the shift of your planet? Where does your heart pull you? Where does your intuition guide? You are here not only to evolve the self, to learn from your fears. Those are typically human construct. There are some overlays of past lives, but they all have activated in this life. So it is time to move through them. Secondly, how do you choose to contribute to the evolution of the planet? And let me give you greater context. Everything you learn at the individual level and all contributions you make to the planet reverberate back into the universe. And we gain wisdom and strength and knowledge to support you in greater, more profound ways to evolve the planet. It is a symbiotic relationship. You provide us the information on what it is like to be a human on the planet, what it is like to have influence on others, whether those others be an ocean, a person, an animal, a tree, and how that influences the others and allows them to evolve. Everything is symbiotic. One change cannot stand alone. It ripples across the whole universe, and not just your universe. Multiple universes are learning from what you are doing. Hear that. Know that is truth. Multiple universes are learning and growing from your wisdom. Quite miraculous, don't you think? Gives greater context to the human experience, does it not? So, what lesson do you choose for yourself? What do you want to learn? And step powerfully into that, knowing that not only do you influence your own life and allow space for abundance and joy and love and playfulness, and yes, more lessons. Teresa refers to it as the muck. There is muck, and then the muck dries up, and there's love and joy. And after the muck, the love and joy are greater. And as you create this internal landscape of self confidence and clarity and trust, you then transfer it into how you want to influence in the universe, how you want to influence in the world. What is it that you will bring from your place of brilliance to influence the evolution of the world? And it not needs to be expansive and grand and huge. It simply needs to be authentic and of you. For there is no one on Earth's planet that is exactly like you. And you are vital. You are so incredibly important. No matter where you think you are in your evolution, you are important. And every time you influence from your being into your human world, the universe listens and hears and learns. One of the great sadnesses of the human existence is this lack of self confidence and self worth. And yet, if you saw yourselves through our lenses, you would see what glorious, amazing beings you are, and how vital you are, not only to the evolution of your planet, but to the wisdom gained in universes and beyond. Now, we have taken a bit of a rabbit trail, as Teresa says. Have we answered the question, And what else can we share with you at this time?
Thank you for that, Teresa. And it was great to hear from Eli. You know, the point that was discussed about the lessons and the discovery of ourselves, I think is so relatable in so many situations, whether it's personal for ourselves as we're doing this discovery, if it's in business, if it's in relationships with ourselves or with others. It's all part of that going within, doing the discovery. I think there's some peace that that brings. And so that was very, very helpful. You know, I would like to know a little bit more as we talk about kind of this self journey and going in, especially with the energies coming in that can be a little bit rattling as we're doing this discovery, where we get excited because we feel like we're on the path, and then all of a sudden, bam, we get kind of thrown off and we get into judgment. And for myself, it's about, I'm my own worst critic and I get pretty hateful towards myself, even though even saying that sends shivers up my spine because I don't believe that. Can we get some guidance as we're traveling down this path and these energies feel so good? And then all of a sudden we hit that bump in the road. How do we get back on course and get back into the discovery mode and stay out of fear and go back into trust?
Excellent inquiry. It is by choice. It really simply boils down to what is your choice. When you hit those bumps in the road, they are by design. They are there to illuminate that which is ready to be released. And when we sink deeper into it, we give it greater meaning and anchor it more fully into our beingness. But if we can stay neutral and say, oh, look, there's that quagmire of self deprecation. You know what? I really love myself. I see that. I acknowledge that that may have been a narrative that I had many years ago or even last week. But today I choose to love myself. Choose what you want. Do not continue to feed into the morphogenic fields of fear or victimhood. Specifically, victimhood. This is a tremendous field that we are disassembling by bringing up these fears. And when I say we are dissembling, it is you and we are supporting you. What you feed grows. What do you choose to feed? Does that address the question asked?
Yes, I think that's very, very helpful and such a great reminder for all of us about what we are feeding ourselves, that story in our mind and in our head that gets on the repetitive track and sometimes can be really destructive, unfortunately.
It is exactly what you feed yourself. What are you telling yourself? What is your mind saying to yourself? And choosing the thoughts that lift you up, that empower you, that give you strength, that give you confidence. The self deprecating thoughts don't serve. And you have to choose. It sounds simple and we understand it is hard, but you can do hard. You're in a human body. That's part of the experience. Hard is a pathway into evolution that ripples across so many universes that when you can overcome the muck or the hard, you help others to do the same. So it is not only for self, it is for all beings. Yes.
That's wonderful. I think the last question here, Teresa, that we'd like to hear from the guides. We know that eclipses are cyclical, and that, as we stated earlier in the discussion of, 6 months from now, we're going to be back to a new set of eclipses. And that in between sandwich time over these next 6 months, is there something that the guides are most excited about that they're feeling that's coming in for us that they could share?
Indeed, there is hope. Hope that you have all that you need to shift your systems. The systems that no longer serve the mindset that is birthed and expressing in this time. You see, when you declare what you want and give yourself permission to have it and move forward in concert with your intuition and guides, you lay down the foundation for others to do so. So, on this solar eclipse, state what you want. Put it on your fridge, write it on your forehead, put it on your computers or laptops or on your phone. Remind yourself of the direction that you are going and allow yourself to receive the blessings that are surrounding that goal. In January, we asked Teresa to find 3 words that epitomized her goals. She shared this with many of you, and many of you have your 3 words that epitomize what you want to accomplish in 2024: vitality, health, abundance, freedom, a new business, a new job, partnership, love, healthy family. Stay the course. And if you don't have your 3 words, find them. And when you find your 3 words, focus your energy in that direction. Focus your energy and create visions and scenarios that embody those goals. When you make a wish and infuse it with the emotions of self-confidence, trust, and hope, it takes wings and it flies. And it signals to your guides, to your soul, that you are ready to receive it. And so your teams assemble whatever is required to make that come to fruition and present you with the next step on that path. And then you take that step, and then you wish and hope, and then we assemble more things. You see those things, you take the step. This is manifestation. This is how you can step into the life you want instead of a life lived by other people's norms and standards, what Teresa calls societal defaults. Do not default your life. Choose your life. Choose a life that aligns to you, not somebody else or society. And if you are looking for the lottery numbers, they are not likely to be available. If you are looking for monetary abundance, now that can flow to you, but expect it to show up in unexpected ways. When you stand in trust that you are receiving all that you don't need the lottery because you know you will have what you need when you need it. This is the secret to abundance. This is the secret to having all you want. Trust that what you want will manifest, and as Heidi and Teresa know, always ask for this or something better. We want you to have it all and more. And we can see in your lives, in your life path, all the riches and bounty that is available to you. We ask that you notice it too. And then together, let's co-create it. It is this premise at the individual level that gives rise to systemic changes, and it is exactly why we have come into Teresa's life at this time. She wishes to enlighten all that they have the riches and bounty in front of them, so that expectations on how that riches and those bounty are managed do not default to government systems or other systems that do not support the individual. In a past conversation, she stated, "How dare we have homeless and hungry people? How dare we? We know better." And she is right. Give yourself permission, and you will create the systems to change the world for the better. Thank you. Are there additional questions for us at this time?
I think this has been absolutely so needed. The timing of this, with this huge energy shift coming in, and us being able to take advantage of the opportunities to recalibrate ourselves and go within, address the fears, and discover more about why we're here and what our goals and missions are. And I think most importantly, as the guides really walked us through today, is it's all part of the joyous journey. And we get to choose. We choose our words to focus on. We choose what we feed ourselves. I think this has been incredibly helpful.
This is wonderful. And know that while we may not whisper in your ears all the time, you have guides that are doing that. Thank you. Wow.
Wow. Another amazing session, Teresa. We'll let you catch your breath here for a moment as you re-enter with us. Such a fun conversation, and so great to have Eli join us for such a needed topic and covering absolutely spot on information that I think is really going to be valuable as we go through this journey with this energy beyond just shifting, but this is our time to jump in, be present, and engage.
I could not agree more. And I have to tell you that The energy from Eli is so loving and supportive and hopeful, and he's he they are absolutely right. What are we going to choose for ourselves? And by giving ourselves permission to choose what we want in our own lives, it's implicit permission for others to do the same. So you become the catalyst. You become the change we want to see in the world. So, so vital. And I'm so grateful that they use the physical phenomenon like eclipses to be the catalyst for us because we can feel it. It's the natural evolution, isn't it?
N Yes, and, I that comment about using the eclipses to spark, it's sparking not just the energy, but I also think the conversation is we're focused on the magic that's coming in, and now to have the conversation and bring in the energy from the guides to help us really capitalize on the moment and realizing it's not just a spark. We get to continue on this roll as we engage with the energy for the next 6 months. I think that's the fun part.
It's miraculous. And we talked about this before we came on the show. Never in my life, never in your life, never in our lives have we heard so many people engaged on in the conversation around evolution and our spirituality. I mean, we're hearing from people from all walks of life, all corners of the earth, and we're ready. So, yeah, let's grab this beautiful construct and claim it for our own. Yes, beautiful.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Another fabulous session, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you to you and the guides. Thank you for the time to channel and bring in the information that I know is so beneficial to so many of us.
You're so welcome. It's really and truly my honor. I am so lucky that I get to do this. And the more I do it, the better I feel. The better I feel, the more I can give. So thank you, everyone. Until we see you on the next episode. And thank you, Heidi, for always being the guide that keeps the information flowing in the right direction. Keeps me and the guides all organized.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I am honored.
All right. Love you, friends.